Physically felt fine. That's a big positive coming out of this. Probably the only positive you can find is that felt good. Just couldn't command the baseball.
Buck was suggesting that maybe having the extra days contributed to the rough night. Is that possible?
I mean, yeah, that's an excuse, but you know what? I couldn't command the baseball. It was definitely rusty. Definitely not where I wanted to be, but with any of my pitches, and that's a pretty good lineup to try and go out there and wing it on. So, you gotta be better than that with them.
Chris, at least what they were showing up on the board, your velocity was a little down 2 or 3 miles. Is that the way you felt, or do you have any feel for that, or what? That's what made people suspicious because you had a short shoulder thing.
Right, it's to be expected. I think I was a little timid early on. There's some apprehension there, but the more I got into it, I felt like it started to come around. Pretty confident in it, and I had a pretty good feeling that it wasn't really going to be a thing anymore. And I felt good really good at the end, and felt like it was coming out a little better.
When you say apprehension, were you having the command issues in the bullpen too? You just not want to let it go in the game? What was going on?
No, command was fine in the bullpen. I just think with any injury, I think there's a mental hurdle that you got to get past first, and that was a big part of it. With every injury, not just shoulder, but I feel like it's gotten better every day, and it was pretty good tonight. Felt good, just couldn't make a pitch.
This team went through a stretch where collectively you guys were pitching pretty solidly but weren't scoring a lot of runs. Now the last few days the pitching hasn't necessarily been there, and there's been some runs scored, not tonight but in previous games. I mean, this is something that's got to shake itself down, you would think, with about 40-some games left to go.
Yeah, I think we gotta start playing good baseball again. We haven't pitched particularly well recently, but you know what, you got to stick with it. We're grinding. We're not for the lack of effort by any means. We're grinding it out, and got to show up tomorrow and have a good game.
Chris, Buck said that you said you felt fine, but when he said we'll see how he feels tomorrow. Is there any question in your mind what you're going to wake up to tomorrow with your shoulder?
You never know. I don't think it shouldn't be a problem. Brian and Richie and Chris and they worked hard. We worked hard all week to get to where we are today, and they don't get enough credit for what they do. So I feel pretty optimistic that I'll feel okay tomorrow morning.